Hello.
Heyo.
Like,
Um, okay, I want to start with this. I'm no longer as down on the season, oh, as I was like a little bit ago.
you see my screen still?
No, it's gone.
Something so
That's
wrong.
why I said, oh.
There we go. Okay.
I'm no longer as down on the season. Um, Not because like things have changed. If anything, I think a Haley goes home unless she wins this veto up for the upcoming week. But now I think I feel better because it's like we have most likely a guaranteed good solid winner, and that was not guaranteed before. And the path to the end with Burger Queen not being in the final four, and although I'm sad that Dan's not here, I'm glad that the final four right now is not the Burger Queen Alliance. So is it my favorite season? I won't lie, no. But it's no longer like we're no longer risking, I think, bottom of the barrel for me, at least.
Yeah,
So
speak for yourself.
we'll see. We'll see. Um, so yeah, this week Kristen was HOH. After weeks of talking about needing to split up Anthony and Victoria, her venge vengeance for Dan got the better of her, and she put up Maris and Anthony with the goal of taking out Maris. Haley, who has been out for half the season, won the On What Day Was competition.
And almost won the season trivia too.
And
Lost by
almost won the season trivia.
lost by in a tiebreaker 30 seconds.
Um, so that um and Maris was evicted unanimously. So we have a lot to dive into because my scores have changed.
Well, I'd hope so. Okay. Anthony.
Anthony. Last week, Anthony was at, I believe, a 7 from both of us. Anthony, I have to say, for a while, I was on the Kristen Ray needs to be the winner of the season, and no one else will make me happy. Anthony's played a good game, but like I just didn't want to see him win. Not anymore. The fact that Anthony stayed unanimously on the block this week, despite the voters going, it's not smart to keep Anthony, and Kristen going, like, me evicting Maris is purely personal. I know I need to split them up. And now this is not affecting my score, but now we know Anthony is the first member of the final three. His chances just got really, really good. And it's like I would have been upset if Anthony got there and did not face any adversity at all. Like that's what I hate a steamroll. They had the shot. They were the ones that chose not to take it, but Anthony was on that block on eviction night and very easily and quite honestly should have gone home. So now, like, if he gets to the end, snaps and good on him. Um, Currently, I think based on how the jury is talking, although I do think that Anthony has made like a few blunders, they've all been very minor, and I can't actually name anything that comes to mind right now. He's played a pretty flawless game. Um, I am gonna go up to a 9.
That's also where I'm going to. Um, um, yeah, I agree. I think that even if we think that Kristen deserves to win the game out of everyone here, I think Anthony is the one to win the game out of everyone here.
Well, and I also want to put on the record, I've been saying Kristen deserves to win, and I've been saying that for weeks. But and again, we'll talk about Kristen when we get to Kristen. But right now, if I had to pick a winner myself, knowing everything that I've seen in the game, currently in this moment after the final five, I vote for Anthony and not Kristen because I mean, we'll talk about Kristen when we get to Kristen, but yeah, I no longer feel that Kristen is the best player this season. I now feel that it is Anthony.
Yeah. He's played a dominant game this season, and I knew even going into this HOH that he was gonna have a strong shot to win against Victoria and Haley. Um, and now really it's two more competitions for him to win, and the game is over. So that's it. That's pretty much it. And he wins. So
Yeah, craziness.
the only well, why I am not at a 10 is because personally I think that I think Victoria has the strongest shot of getting evicted this week, which
I
A,
agree.
bad for him, but also B, if Haley and Kristen are next to him in the final three, you said something different. I think if either of them win, I think they're taking each other. I do not think.
No, I fully agree with that.
Oh, you said Anthony. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Kristen takes Haley and Haley takes Tristan. I think the only person that takes Anthony to the end is Victoria, and I think it is most likely that she goes home this week. Granted, um, that fact was not determined until after Anthony won HOH, but even so, like Anthony can't count on Victoria to win the final four veto and like save him and her if they were in that position. Like, you know what I mean? And now
Yeah.
it's really in the position where if Anthony wants to save Victoria, he's going to need to win the final four veto himself. Because, I mean, Haley obviously evicts Victoria, and Kristen would be stupid to after talking so long about Anthony and Victoria needing to be split up. She would be. I can't tell you how far I would lower my score on her if she chooses to go to the final three with the two Anthonys. I
Um,
love Victoria to death.
okay. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna go. Okay.
Let's look at our graph. Graph. Yay.
Back up
Okay.
to 9. So it's really like Anthony needs to will win the game probably if he wins the two competitions that he needs to win. But there's a good chance he loses if he does not win the two competitions. So yeah, that's that.
Alrighty.
Haley.
Um, so we've been talking very recently, especially these last 2 weeks, I know that I mean Haley's been out for half the game. She came back in. Um, and she's been out for a lot of the game, but like let's talk about this part because this is the part that counts. She's been in for a lot of the game.
Mm-hmm.
When you come in later after battling back for so long, you really do have to make up for all that game that you missed. Haley has done a great job at integrating and surviving. It's, in my opinion, impossible to win the game that way if you are second boot and then you come back halfway through the season. You can't win the game that way. You can get to final two that way, but it's not going to win you the game. If Haley Falkenberg's name was David Fosbener, like we saw in season 1, David played balls to the walls, winning, making moves, and he played a winning game strategically. Haley said this in her DR, where she was like, evicting Maris this week is the wrong move. It is the wrong move. Why are we going to the final four with Anthony and Victoria? If Kristen wasn't so hell bent on getting Maris out, I would try and flip the vote. I'm like, Haley, you have the power, the singular power, to save a nominee, which would force Kristen to nominate Victoria and would force one of the duo to be split and out of the game. You would make good with Maris, who, let's be real, probably isn't winning this final four veto anyway. You make like the only In that case, Anthony probably goes home if it's Anthony versus Victoria on the block. Maris and Victoria are not going to win this Final Four veto, most likely. So, looking at it realistically, you all of a sudden have a 50-50 chance of winning the Final Four veto yourself because you've seen how the other two have performed in season trivia competitions. And at that point, you're in the final three where you just need to win your way to the end anyway. That is a winning game that she needs to be playing. But instead, she's not playing to win, she's playing to make it far and then maybe win, but she can't do it if she's just playing quite honestly, a mediocre game right now. So it was very much the wrong move this week. I personally think she has the least chance of winning right now. In terms of being in front of a jury. I do think the jury would respect Victoria's game more than Haley's if they were the final two. They won't be, knock on wood. But so for me, I'm lowering my score to a 3.
Okay, gotcha. I'm going down as well. I'm only going down to a 4. I have noticed in the jury chat a little bit. People have been like, "Oh my God, there's Haley going to win another competition," which I don't think is any. There's no sway in that to vote for her in the end. I don't think. But even that little traction of, oh, there's that, oh, there's this, and if she is next to Victoria, I think Victoria flounders in front of a jury, to be quite honest. I don't think she even knows what. I feel so bad saying this. I don't feel like she knows what she has to say or what she's done, to be really honest.
I unfortunately agree. Whereas I think this time, if Haley makes it to that
Haley's
final two,
ready.
you bet your ass
Ready.
after last season, if Haley makes it to the final two, she's going to do her damnedest to make sure she does not lose again. We'll see.
So in this, I disagree with you. I think that Victoria currently will, in the end, have the least chance of winning. I think if it's Haley versus Victoria, I think people, especially after the roundtable tomorrow, and she literally just has to pull the card, or someone will ask her, "You were out for the entire pre-jury. What do you have to say about that?" All she just say is, "I did more than Victoria did when I was here, and she was here for double the amount of time." If she says that, I think she can blow Victoria out of the water.
Yeah. We're also, granted, we're talking about a Haley versus Victoria scenario, which I do think statistically, off of how we've seen
That
A,
would
people
mean
doing
Kristen going
competitions, and
home.
B,
Yeah. That would mean Kristen going home this week.
exactly how people have done in competitions and what people have said in their DRs. I do think that them two in the final two is statistically the least
Yeah.
likely scenario right now. So yeah, we'll see.
So I'm going to a 4. But like, love how she still tries. Oh, I gave her a 4, my bad. 4, 3.5. Love
I
how
mean, no, you go first. Yeah, you were
I
saying.
love how she like consistently still like tries her hardest in everything.
She
Even though,
consistently, yes.
yeah, that's what I was saying. You can go.
The fact that she won this veto alone is insane.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't me dogging on Haley's game. She's playing a good game. It's just unfortunately
If she didn't get
50% of it
evicted,
is
I think
missing.
if
You know
she
what I
didn't get
mean?
evicted, I think that this would be a very good game.
It would be a very strong game. Exactly. She just is not making up for that lost time, which I don't think she necessarily realizes as much is like a must do
Mhm.
if you've been out for this long.
Okay. Kristen.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks, I've started my ranking for Kristen in a very specific way with a little clap. And this week I'm going to start it like this. Um, yeah, yeah. Kristen, what are you doing? We've been saying for weeks, Kristen's the smartest player here because she has not been just locked in with her alliance. she's seen that Anthony and Victoria are a threat and that Anthony needs to go and that the jury is probably going to vote for Anthony to win. And then you won HOH, and what did you do? You let personal vendettas get in the way. And unfortunately, Kristen, I won't lie, you're not going to like this, but this is why you lost the first two times. This is the game you played the first two times that I said did not deserve to win. And guess what, Kristen? This does not deserve to win right now. And it makes me sad because you've played so smart and well up to this point. But girl, what you doing? What's up with this? Literally all, I agree. If you nominate Anthony and Victoria right up on the block, that draws a line in the sand, and that is a big line at the final five. However, all you had to do was say, Haley, use the veto on Maris. All of a sudden, you don't have a choice. What do you think? Haley's gonna go to, like, especially if you ask Haley to like keep it on the DL. If Haley goes to Anthony Victoria and is like, yeah, Kristen like really is asking me to use it, Kristen has like deniability. She can deny whatever. And then even if Haley uses it and she makes that enemy, they send Anthony home. What's Victoria gonna do at this point? She really, if she got rid of Anthony, like I really think she just has the game on lock. She can't lose at that point. Because Maris and Victoria are not going to win these final competitions, and Haley's not going to cut Kristen. So, like, if she loses the game, I look back to this week. That being said, her and Haley are still the most likely winners of this veto. Victoria is the most likely person to go home. And then they have a 66.6 repeating percent chance of becoming the final HOH, taking each other, and Kristen is the likely winner in that scenario. So although that this was not the most optimal move for Kristen, Anthony is still her biggest threat, and now Anthony is in that final three. And I think beats her in the end right now. Her game is not flushed down the toilet. This is not a flush your toilet down the game move. I've been at a 9 these last couple of weeks. I can no longer stay at my 9 because I do feel like she is not on par with Anthony currently. However, I am only lowering my score to an 8 because she is still playing a very impressive game. But yeah, if she loses the game, this is the week that it's the fault of. So we'll see. We'll see how my score goes next week. I hope she's still here.
Yeah, I don't really see a world where she goes home this week.
Knock on wood right now, sir.
Well, if she does go home, she fucking deserves it. So
Yeah.
not even no. And then in the final three, like she's proven that she knows her stuff. I think Haley's if Haley's still in, Haley's gonna win part 1. It's gonna be a crossword showdown between Kristen and Anthony. Literally, almost
Gosh,
most likely for Kristen's life in the game.
For a third time. I don't
For
have
a third time, the crossword puzzle showdown.
Oh,
And
no.
then if Anthony wins, I can see it now. Haley versus Anthony for the third time to a tiebreaker question. Third time this season, Anthony beats her out. Anthony wins. So, it's so tricky because now it's literally all competitions now. Like it's all, and it's like, how do you judge based off of that? Like, what I will say, because I didn't have my ranking from before the HOH. What I will say is that even before this HOH, I didn't think Kristen. First of all, I think Kristen is most likely next to Haley to win this veto, and Haley's not evicting her. So I didn't see a world where she was going home anyway. But this was a mistake. Like I don't know if it was loyalty to Burger Queen or
Yeah, it was vengeance for Dan.
It's
That's
so
what I think it fueled the most.
like
Yeah.
that's not how you get vengeance. You get vengeance by dragging Maris to the end and beating her. Like that's
And
vengeance.
making her a fool in front of the jury. I mean, we saw how the jury reacted when she walked in. And I mean, we'll talk about Maris next.
I'm gonna stay at my 8 because we're so close to the end. And as long as she's not next to Anthony, she wins.
And even if she
And
is
even next to Anthony, like yeah,
Anthony is by no means running away with this right
yeah,
now.
that's what. Yeah.
I just do think it's more likely that he wins.
Ay ay ay. Okay, Maris. Um.
1 second.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I agree.
One moment.
We cannot hear whatever's happening.
Oh wait.
Wait, I can hear. I can hear.
What?
I can hear it.
Oh, you can. You can. Okay, wait. See the professional audio. Or maybe I should screen share sound. Hold on. Give me one. Just give me 1 second. Okay. I'm ready. Let me know if you can hear this. Oh, I hope it plays. Okay, here we go.
Voila, the Wicked Witch. Ding dong, the Wicked Witch is dead.
And that was the Glee cast version to top it off.
Okay. So let's recap this a little bit. She couldn't compete in age weight, so it's like okay. We'll give her that. She couldn't compete for age weight. She was nominated. She didn't play in the veto. Then, after the veto was won, she said, "Okay, I'm evicted."
And
So
then she was evicted. She was like, "Oh, thank God."
one.
One. And then she has the audacity to walk into the jury house. And when people tell her she's stupid, she's like, "You're just, it's called an alliance with Anthony, first of all. Get the term right. It's called an alliance. And you're just mad because you got evicted by your own alliance member. Ha." And Matthew's like, "That was you. You put me up. That doesn't reflect on me. That reflects on you because you're stupid." Oh my gosh. Listen, there are two things. No, I'm really not excited for Murph and Nora to watch the season back. I'm actually I'm quite scared for that. But I'm excited for Maris to watch this back because as a person, Maris is so much fun. She's so silly. She's so funny. She's fun. As a player, girl, you played very badly this season. Very
And
badly.
she is funny. Like that's so true. Like she does make me laugh.
You played very badly. Like there's no defending your game.
Like actually, I feel bad for Sammy that we couldn't bring her back. And we brought Maris back
No,
and played this game.
Because Sammy would play into Anthony's hand as
Yeah.
well.
It'd have to be Bella, probably. Okay, anyway.
Um,
Again.
and then Bella joins the 5-5. No, like I do stand by Maris coming back from this season.
If I knew what I knew now, I would not be casting Maris on this season. I mean, obviously, it's like you can't not cast Maris, who was the runner-up. So, like, I don't blame ourselves from before. But, like, come on. Like,
No, I would still cast Maris. Because, like, listen, Maris, like, you played dumb. You played dumb. But here's the but. And we said this last week. You played. And I would rather that 20 times more.
Who do I really feel bad for? Julia Flatley? Maggie Carr?
Or maybe Jackie Berry or Maggie Sato. Anyway, so yeah, you played this season. You made it to Final Five. Kudos. But Andrew Kalmeyer made it to Final Four and Julia, and so like it doesn't always say much.
Anyway, that's all we have to say. There's nothing else to say. Victoria. Okay, that's all we have to say for Victoria. All right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste too much time here. She just doesn't have a winning game. She's the most likely person to go home this week. If Anthony, I'm just assuming that Victoria is not going to win this veto. So I'm speaking in terms of this. If Anthony does not win this veto, Victoria is most likely going home. And if for some reason Anthony does win this veto or Victoria wins this veto, sure, let's talk about it that way. Then in the final three, I'm assuming it's going to be a final three of Anthony, Kristen, and Victoria. And they all drag Victoria to the end and she loses against the other two. So like I don't think Victoria has a winning game at this point. So I'm just gonna stay at mine too.
I'm going down to a 1 for
Ooh.
Victoria. Have I not done that yet? I don't think. Okay. Wait, I have to look at this graph again. Because there is a slight spike at one point. Where's her line? Oh, yes, this orange line right here. This is when she won HOH. So true.
Wait, which line is hers?
She's the dashed orange one. So she goes like down here. She starts up here.
So just downward trajectory. Yeah, that tracks.
Oh my gosh. This season sucks. I'm sorry. Usually it's recency bias makes me like a season more. So I can't even begin to imagine how I'm gonna feel 2 months from now about this season. Oh my gosh.
See, like honestly, I feel like recency bias is what's bringing the season down.
No. But we'll see. Currently, this has got to be below 5 for me.
Interesting.
Because it didn't have a sucky ending, I don't know if I can put it. Oh. Because it probably will not have a sucky ending. I don't think I can put it below 6. I was going to at one point. It was below 6 for me at one point, which is saying something.
It's no question for me. It's definitely in the bottom half of seasons. It's not making the top 5. The question is, where in the bottom 5 does it fall? That's very literally it is so dependent on these last 2 weeks.
I just can't. I just don't care anymore. I don't care to do this anymore. Oh, I hate these people. Okay, anyway. Okay, Anthony and Kristen at the top, Maris and Victoria at the bottom for the 12th week in a row. Okay, anyway. Literally nothing else has changed. Well, I guess Kristen went up, but really nothing else has changed since the beginning. Maris and Victoria were always at the bottom. Anthony and Kristen were always near the top. And Haley was evicted or near the middle most of the time. So literally people have just been leaving. That's all that's been happening. People have just been leaving.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the more that I think about it, yeah, this might be bottom 3.
This has got to be bottom 3. This season sucks. Damn, I keep seeing people and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I hope you guys like this season." No, it fucking sucks. It's terrible.
I'm texting. Shout out to Sean if he's watching this. He's been texting me rooting for Maris this whole time. Maris is out, and I was finally like, "I'm so happy she's gone." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "She's playing out." And he was like, "Well, at least the season's good. If it wasn't a 2-sided season." And I was like, "Uh huh." Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I need a Big Brother detox. Anyway. Okay, that's that. I'm gonna be even more upset if we do our next rankings and Victoria is not out. No offense, Victoria. Victoria, I love you very much. You need to leave. Seriously, you need to go. For the game's sake. Okay, goodbye. I'm so done.